telling me no, but this time I need to tell you. Ride it, we're all alone. Ride it, just lose control. Ride it, come touch my soul. Ride it, let me feel you. Ride it, till the lights down low. Ride it, from head to toe. Ride it, touch my soul. Ride it.
Hello people. We are the two developers behind this game called ORYO. I'm Batush, the artist responsible for the game's art, and my friend in crime is called Farmer. He's the programmer who's responsible for the game's various systems and code. In this video, we are going to be talking about our projects, trying to summarize what we've accomplished in the last year or so, and share some of our plans about the future of the game. As of right now, we have just released our first playable early access build of the game, which features our new robust character creator. We'll talk more about that later. So without further ado, let's get to it. So ORYO basically is an online role-playing game inspired by old-school role-play sessions that you would typically come across on MMOs like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV, where people act out their characters and describe their actions using either emotes or text, the usual stuff. In our take on this gameplay style, however, we obviously wanted to refine the experience of role-playing as much as we would be able to. So our goal ultimately became to make a game in which the players would be able to act out their characters and actions in creative and more natural ways. It's not just about acting though. The game itself will have complex underlying systems, visually rich combat, and dynamic stats to support this social gameplay loop. You'll still have to go through light grinds and character progression to improve your character mechanically. We usually like to give examples of how some survival games like Project Zomboid and DayZ handle these systems and interactions. So in a sense, we're pulling towards a more immersive sim, sandbox, roleplay kind of a wild genre. When we initially started development on the project, we didn't have much experience on making stylized content before. We were both very into games with distinct anime art styles, but we didn't want ORYO to look like a basic cel-shaded game. We didn't want to make an uninteresting hyper-realistic style either. We wanted players to be able to look at the game's visuals for hours on end and not have eye fatigue. We wanted the environments and the characters to pop, be memorable, and most importantly be timeless. So the direction in our heads was somewhere between realistic proportions and anime stylization. Our first character iterations were much more playful and very cartoonish looking, and not to mention, I was quite inexperienced in character modeling, so the uncanniness was basically over the roof. And there was the fact that ORYO's world would not always be peaceful and positive. There are darker parts to the setting that we are currently establishing. There are themes of hopelessness, violence, oppression, and so on. We are taking a lot of inspirations from the story and the vibes of Half-Life 2, so you can see what I'm getting at. When the characters looked too cartoonish, it became harder to portray these themes and elements without the tone becoming confused. The design could maybe work for a more light-hearted game, but it didn't really serve the needs of ORYO enough. So we eventually decided to rebuild the characters from scratch. The newer characters use more believable human proportions and have much more detail, while still remaining stylized. However, I was still new to animating 3D characters, so playing with the style and proportion ideas in animation showed me different ways in which we could portray our characters' personalities and actions with cleaner readability and intention. And that, in the end, gave the game a more mature visual direction.
At the same time, I started modifying Unreal Engine's rendering to get closer to the look we actually wanted for the game's art style. This involved digging through older cel-shading HLSL repositories, studying how other developers approached it, and experimenting with those ideas inside the engine. I still don't fully understand how some of it works, but after enough trial and error, the game started getting much closer to the image we originally had in our heads. In the end, we had a shading setup that gave ORYO a distinct visual identity. We also rebuilt the character's secondary movement system. Hair, clothing, and other simulated parts are split into separate groups, with behavior tailored to each asset. Short hair, long hair, coats, skirts, and similar items all move differently. Only the physics needed for the character's current outfit and hairstyles are evaluated, which keeps the system easier to manage and helps performance. We also use corrective shapes to improve shoulders, elbows, and other areas during extreme poses. These are small details, but they make the characters feel much more polished.
Once the base characters and shaders were foundationally changed, the character creator also had to change with them. The old system was very primitive and basic. You had only a few options to change some facial features, a few basic haircuts, and that was it. We quickly realized that the range of different characters you could make was very limited at best. And that simply was not going to cut it for ORYO. Because in our case, the characters had to be able to communicate a myriad of different personalities to facilitate the roleplayer's intentions. Your character is the main tool you use to roleplay. It is how you present your creation to everybody else in the world, how you tell their story in a sense. We want players to be able to create characters that could visually support the story they had in mind for them. For example, a fat greedy merchant, an intimidating old commander, or a destitute homeless dude. Ideally, you should be able to look at a character and pick up cues about who they are before having to read long descriptions about their face, their height, scars, or how miserable their life has been.
Okay, dude.
Those who managed to peek under the Draenei's tabard would be treated to the sight of two plump C-cup orbs that nearly spilled out of her outfit with each movement. Behind the Draenei featured a plump pale ass that would jiggle with each step as she took whatever the sultry Draenei sauntered around. Her thighs were oh so soft and squeezable, and between those thighs dangled a pale light blue.
Right now, our immediate focus is testing the character creation build and making sure it holds up. We want you guys to try making attractive characters, ugly ones, your favorite actor, make Shrek, make handsome Squidward, you know? Tell us what you think, what could be improved about it. We need people to test what we are making, help us improve the game and the ideas in it. And if this sounds like a game you'd love to play, consider becoming a member on our Patreon to get early access during development, along with some extra perks. The game is being developed full-time by just the two of us, and Patreon is a huge part of what makes that possible. You can also follow the project here on YouTube, join the Discord to talk with us and the rest of the community. We will be sharing more of the game as these systems come together. So come join us, we really need more buddies.